So today we have verses 1 and 2 of chapter 18 lined up. I will start with verse number 1 of chapter 18, Moksha Sannyasa Yoga. I will chant. Arjuna Uvacha Sannyasasya Mahabahu Tatvam Mechami Veditum Tyagasya cha Rishikesha Prathakeshi Nishudana. Arjun spoke. I desire to know distinctly, O Mahabahu, the essence, truth of sannyas, renunciation, O Rishikesh, and of tyag, relinquishment, abandonment, O Keshani Sudana. So let's take this up word by word. Arjuna Vaj, Arjun spoke. Sannyasa, sannyasasya, that means of sannyas, of renunciation. O Mahabhav is name he's using for Lord Krishna. Tatvam, tattva, essence, truth. Ichhami, I wish, I desire. Veditum, so Ved is to know. Veditum becomes I desired. So to know. Tyagasya, so tyag is relinquishment. So tyagasya becomes of tyag, of relinquishment. Cha and Rishikesh is name for Lord Krishna. Prithak, distinctly, separately, clearly. Keshini Shudana. That means again a name for Krishna, slayer of demon, Keshi. So we'll take up these proper nouns that are being used for Lord Krishna. So the verse translates to Arjun spoke, I desire to know distinctly, O Mahabhav, the essence of sannyas, renunciation, O Rishikesh, and of tyag, relinquishment, O Keshini, Sudana. So let's chant. Arjuna Uvacha Sannyasasya Mahabahu Tatvamechami Veditum Tyagasya
Rishikesha
Pratha
Keshini Shudanam.
So the chapter starts with Arjuna requesting Lord Krishna for a distinct, detailed, comprehensive explanation of the two terms sannyas, which we are translating to renunciation, and tyag, which we are translating to relinquishment or abandonment. Now, these two terms, sannyas and tyag, or renunciation and relinquishment, are two terms. They're technical terms which we have been using, reading frequently in the Bhagwad Gita, because Lord Krishna has been using them frequently. And for all practical purpose, for all our understanding, they seem to be interchangeable. You know, we can use tyag and sannyas. We tend to use tyag and sannyas interchangeably. So as synonyms, almost as synonyms. However, Arjun wants to know the depth, significance of these terms. Are they the same? Are they different? If they're different, how are they different? Now, see, inquiry. This is Arjun's inquiry, his questioning. So, inquiry is an essential quality in a disciple, in a student, because it is only through questions that our doubts are cleared, and whatever traces of ignorance we have on a subject, and this applies to the worldly knowledge as well. So whatever traces of ignorance or ambiguity we have, they are removed from our self, so inquiry is an essential quality in a disciple. Questions show eagerness to learn. Now, when there are no questions, it means only two things. Either one knows it all or one is not interested. Other than that, they know things. So that is the significance of a question. And all our scriptures, be it the Upanishads, the Bhagavad Gita, they are all in a dialogue form. So the guru gives the knowledge, and then the students keep asking questions based on that knowledge, based on what was explained. So they are in a question answer mode. And normally, if you see, it is the student's question. Very often, actually, it is a student's question that sparks of the sermon from the guru. This is the best part of our scriptures, because a teacher does not teach. The teacher already knows it. He has no requirement to teach. It is the student who wants to take that knowledge. So the student learns. And knowledge is never given, it has to be taken, it has to be grabbed by the student. So now, if you look at it, the three names that are used by Arjun for Lord Krishna are Mahabahu. Mahabahu is someone who is mighty armed, powerful. Rishikesh is Lord of the senses, one who has overcome the senses. Keshini Sudan is the slayer of demon Keshi. Keshi was a Daitya who had attacked Krishna in the form of a horse, and Krishna had killed him by killing him in dividing him into halves. Right. So this is what was Arjun's question, verse number 1. We move on to verse number 2. Shri Bhagavanuvachaha कामयानां कर्मणां न्यासं संन्यासं कवयो विदु सर्वकर्मफलः त्यागं प्राहुस्त्यागं विचक्षणाः. So the verse translates to, the Lord said, the sages understand sannyas to be renunciation of desire ridden actions, relinquishment of fruit of action, the wise declare as tyag. So let's take this up word by word. Shri Bhagavan Uvach, the Blessed Lord said, Kamayanam. So desire ridden, where kamana is involved. So desire ridden, karmanam. Karma is action. So karmanam becomes of actions. Nyasam is renunciation. Sannyasam is sannyas or renunciation. Kavayaha, sages. Vidu, understand or know. Sarv, karma, phala, tyagam. So serve all karma, action, phal, fruit, tyagam, abandonment or relinquishment. So sarv, karma, phal, tyagam becomes relinquishment of fruit of all action. Prahu, declare. Tyagam, tyag or relinquishment. Vichakshana, the wise. So the Lord said the sages understand sannyas to be renunciation of desire-ridden actions, relinquishment of fruit of all actions, the wise declare as tyaga. So let's chant it together. Shri Bhagavanuvachaha Kamayanam Karmanam Nyasam
Sannyasam
Sannyakayo Vidu Sarvakarma
कर्मफलत्यागं प्राहु
Prahu Satyagam Vichakshana. So, first and foremost, as Lord Krishna is answering Arjun's question. He is observing the tradition and he's quoting the sages and the wise people of ancient times, ancient even from Lord Krishna's time or when the Mahabharata took place. The interesting part is, again, I would like to draw your attention. I think I mention it once in a while that the masters of our ancient masters, our ancient gurus, did not have an individuality and they had no ego. Now, bereft of ego, they attributed their knowledge to not only themselves, but thanks to their entire lineage of gurus. Because if that knowledge had not come down through those generation of gurus, there was no way that one could have acquired that knowledge. So it's a very small aspect. We think it's small, but actually it is a very relevant aspect. And that's why we still don't believe actually in having patents for various things. It's not my individual knowledge. It's it's a combination of knowledge that has come down, that is handed down to us through generations of people. So when you read a text, it was written by Ved Vyas. He would have learned it from somewhere else. Now it has come to me after so many hundreds, thousands of years. So we actually acknowledge our entire lineage of gurus. So most of our ancient wisdom is not attached or copyrighted to one person, and therefore today in when anyone does any small thing, it's immediately patented. We find that yoga was also going to the west as a patent, which does not even make sense. Or the recent case that we have of the Kolapuris being promoted by Prada. I mean, so uh, it's uh, it's a strange concept for us. So we have to fight for things now to make our presence felt in the world. Anyway, so that aside, uh, the point is that this wisdom and knowledge existed and was passed down from one generation to the next, and especially our knowledge, even actually not only the spiritual knowledge, but any form of art or craft was passed down from one generation to the next. And this is our traditional Guru Shishya Parampara, and it applies across all our traditional knowledge forms. And when the great authorities testify, that itself is establishment of knowledge. It's, when Lord Krishna is referring to the authorities, like the learned sages and the wise people here, they are the sources. So when we write a research paper or when we do any thesis or any paper submission, we have to quote the sources. So they are the sources. The sages are the sources. It was something which has been passed down through generations to us. Okay, having established that point, which I thought I'll take out some time to explain, because as we have the Guru Purnima coming up on 10th of July, when we are respecting all our gurus and we pay obedience to our gurus, especially the ones who are spiritual gurus, right? So I thought I'll lay stress on this. And okay, now coming back to the verse, there are two terms that we are talking about. So we are talking about action. Okay, so one is the renunciation of action. Desire ridden is another thing, but I'm removing that adjective. So we're talking of action and fruit of action. So these are the two terms that we are using talking about here to understand what sannyas and tyag. Now, action is the effort that we put in the present. It is the cause that is the fruit of the action. So, fruit of the action is what we reap afterwards as a result of the present action. Thus, fruit of action occurs after the action is over. It is an effect. So, action is the cause, fruit of action is the effect. Action is happening in the present, the fruit of action will happen in the future. So, this is the point that we have to understand to really assimilate the terms sannyas. Now we come to the word sannyas. So the Lord is saying sannyas is the renunciation of desire ridden actions. That means when we are talking of renunciation or sannyas, we are in the present. Our actions, or as we act in the present, that is what we are talking about. And when the Lord says that renounce or renunciation of desire ridden actions, it means those actions which are propelled by our ego, which are egocentric. So, sannyas is actually a renunciation of egocentric, desire ridden actions. So, these are actions which are desire ridden actions, are those actions which are directed to our selfish I, me, myself personality. These actions should be dedicated from selfish to a higher ideal. And this higher ideal can be a relative ideal. So, for an organization, a community, a state, a country, the world, the environment, or it can be the absolute goal, which is attainment of that self, the supreme reality, what we are calling moksha, or when we are liberated. So, we have to pitch our actions to a higher goal. And that is what sannyas means. It is renunciation of egocentric desire ridden actions. Sannyas is not going into the forests or the mountains or in the caves trying to search for something we don't even know about. No, it's not that. It's not sitting under a banyan tree wearing orange clothes or white clothes, having a jap mala in our hands. It's not that. It is, renouncing egocentric or desire ridden actions. So, a person who renounces actions performed by selfish desires for personal enjoyment or personal gain is a sannyasi, even though that person is a householder. So, this we should be clear about. Essentially, it is renouncing desire ridden actions. That is sannyas. That such a person is a sannyasi. The next term that we come to is tyag, or abandonment or relinquishment. So we are using it interchangeably. It and abandonment of what? Not the world, not the action, but the fruit of the action. So now tyag means fruit of action will happen in the future, right? We just analyze that. Action is in the present, fruit of action occurs in the future. So tyag means giving up the future anxiety to enjoy whatever fruits may accrue or may not accrue. And to focus on the present action. The fruit of action, which we have been discussing through the chapters, whenever the relevant verse arises, the fruit of action will occur at the right time in the right environment. We don't have to worry about it. So when you plant a seed, the tree will come out. The tree in due course will grow, will come out, and it will bear fruits. We don't have to worry. We have to just firstly sow the seed, secondly give it the right environment, right? We don't have to be anxious that every morning we are going, every afternoon we are saying, oh my God, it has it is not, the sapling is not grown, the bush has not come out. Anxiety for the fruit of action is pointless. We have already sowed the seed. In fact, not only is it pointless, anxiety for the fruit of action, anxiety for the fruit of action degrades the performance of our present action. So we are so concerned about the future fruit that we don't focus on our action, which is in the present and which should be perfect or as best as possible. So the practice of tyag prevents the dissipation of energy in the present action. So this was verse number 2, and we conclude our session for the day.